door.
There is a spell called Shrink Item. It is a third circle spell that allows you to shrink an item to about 1/4000th the original volume and mass.
What?
1/16th of its normal size in each dimension. So a 6-foot door divided by 6 times 12 divided by 16.
You can't.
6 times 12 divided by 16 is it would be a 4.5-inch door.
That sounds like a spell worth getting.
Oh, can return it to normal by throwing it on a surface and saying the word.
Even a burning fuel, a fire and its fuel can be shrunk by this spell. Restoring the shrunken item to its normal size ends the spell. So it's something. It's a rather common spell, and it's something that you might be able to buy when you're in the wizard's district.
If we had any money left.
If only I
if you had any money left, but you guys have this creepy assassin's ring. And a place where you sold creepy things before.
And a bunch of store credit there.
Oh, yep. Yeah. So
do we have a bunch
it sounds like on your way through the slough, Manny gives Levi a bump.
We're going back to
the Devil's Pawn Shop?
Yeah.
If you like.
We're going to sell that thing. No one knows how to use it.
I think it'd be
He's going to spins it on the table where you guys are eating eggs and bacon.
I think that might put us as in good faith with the owner. Might get a discount on something else.
Well, it might make them happy.
Well, and that, I guess.
We should keep the big elephant man happy. He says he says
in halfling to you.
Too right.
All right. So you guys are going to leave the manor. By which means?
I think we're gonna do it old school. We're gonna hoof it. Like peasants.
You hoof down the road, or are you bringing anything with you from the manor?
I think we'll have all of our keys.
I decided to take my pillow with me and stuff it into my backpack.
Okay. What about the big winding arm for the golem? Is that on somebody's...
It's in Macronom.
It is in... Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Macronom ate it. Okay, so you guys have that on you. All right, the group of you, and are you taking the door or not?
I'm definitely also taking Gedrin's head. Yeah, preserve Gedrin's head. Yeah, I have that. Okay.
It looks like we corrupted a page somewhere.
Okay. And then Malbut stays behind. He's hiding here. Poor Malbut. All right. So using one of your items, either the amulet, the cursed shaving kit, or the ring, you unlock the front door, and the group of you begins to walk down the way. You check on the spiders. Yeah, some of them have died, some of them have wandered off, but there's a small group of them that have remained. This was in Bart Wilder's area underneath the bridge. You walked to the golem.
Is skeleton still making his rounds?
Oh yeah, the skeleton of the Tonome, or the he who waits to eat, is just creepily doing its rounds around the edge of the building. He's pretty easy to avoid. Yeah. When you know where he is, you kind of like, oh, he passed, and then you open the door and go wandering out. This golem thing is actually, let's see, if 1d3 it's still active, or 1 it's actually shut down, 2 it's moving really slowly, 3 it's still got a lot of kick left in it, 1 it's actually shut down.
Ah, all right.
It just sort of, hey, it's not moving. Like Pharisee flies by it a couple times, and it's just completely shut down. Let's see. 1, if I roll high, that means that somebody who lives nearby has done something to it. Nope. You do see that there were signs that some of the orphan children were throwing rocks at it, or somebody was throwing rocks at it. Like there were like broken little rocks all around it. Nothing else upon further inspection has happened. The gates are still, I think you chained them back up.
Mm-hmm.
How are you getting over the gates? Are you just sort of unlocking the gates and then locking them back up again?
Well, we broke the gate, so I think.
Can we talk
But then we tried to tie it up with the chain.
The cold iron chain that was
Yeah.
on the door? Okay.
But I don't know that we have a particularly good lock for that. Do we?
Yeah,
We do.
yeah.
Yeah, so we'll unlock, unchain, open, close, rechain, relock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The gate's also kind of pounded in a little bit, like some of you could just slip
Yeah.
through the opening, but
Yeah.
you've got the chains open. And then, are you rewinding the golem now, or are you doing that later?
Suppose we should wind this thing as on the way out.
I think so. Does the winder also give you some control over it?
I don't know.
It'd be nice to know. I'm going to fly up there and let us find out.
What is the check we would have to do for that?
Knowledge Arcana is you're going to look at.
We'll do that.
I'll assist on a knowledge arcana. I can auto aid that.
Okay. Zephyros, you want to?
So here's the valley where here's the cut through the rock with the big gate. So you closed it up. There is the clockwork builder that you labeled Gate Crasher.
Zephyros, can I get an auto aid on
It has a bit of damage still from when
What do you
it
need
crashed
auto aid
through
on?
the gate.
Arcana? Knowledge Arcana?
Pretty sure. Auto aiding, I'm pretty sure.
We're talking about the golem, whether the key gives us control of it or just winds it.
Yeah, I've got a plus 13 Arcana, that's an auto aid.
33.
Nice. So you've done some thinking.
The key is inside of Mocrinum, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, winding it is something that you have to do every once in a while, as it is a clockwork construct. This thing, you know the formula, the bigger and more powerful the construct, the longer it lasts per wind.
Ooh. It's pretty nice.
Okay.
And this thing is a clockwork. This particular thing with a 33 will last for 8 days between winds.
Well, that's convenient. Shall we give it a wind then? Do we know if it'll give us control, or is it gonna just attack us as soon as it turns on?
The winding does not give you any particular control over the creature.
Oh, good. Maybe we do it on our way back in.
Is there some other sort of control stick for it then?
No.
Does the Malavella thing?
The amulet?
Yes, does the amulet work?
So this particular type of creature, you know, was built perhaps by the builders of the ether rails themselves. As this thing it's an old piece of machinery that may have helped cut this road up through the Malvellan estate, and may have actually been equipped to start laying track.
Yep.
The Malavellans, you don't know whether this thing was commissioned by the Malavellans or if it was an old piece of machinery that they somehow coaxed to continue to do its work. Right now, it seems to be in like a very hostile guard mode, where it kind of chases anything that's on the ground in front of it. That was the behavior that it was had before. Whether that's malfunctioning behavior or controllable behavior, there's no symbol of Malavella that is on it, and you're able to get a really good look at it. You do not think with your 33 that the presentation of the Malavelan symbol is going to do anything except get you squashed.
Wind it and then go invisible and run out of it. And we'll all be far enough out ahead that everything will be fine.
Very well.
Sounds good to me.
Be careful, says Manny.
Ah.
Makranam, if somebody orders it, puke fetches the the arm. There you go, crying.
Thank you. Do you have a cleaning feature before you...
Makranam is very clean.
Oh, good. It looks clean.
Ah, yes, it's very clean. It was dirtier going in and coming out.
Ew.
Good luck, says Manny, and he's gonna hobble down the road, given that he can't fly like some of you can. Luudo picks up this big honking arm wrench type thing. You can see the place in the back of the creature,
right.
Kind of up near its shoulders, where the thing needs to go in and winch it.
How tall is this thing?
This thing is probably 9 feet tall, but 9 feet wide.
Can I climb it?
Yeah, you can climb it quite easily. What's your climb skill?
Pretty freaking good, given my little body. Oops.
You can see dents where it
+9.
basically plowed through the gates. That has not repaired on its own.
You want me to roll for it?
Oh, what is the bonus?
+9.
And +9? Yeah, give me a roll. Give me a roll.
Oops. 19.
Yeah, you managed to find a couple of good footholds, and you put this arm in. You start cranking.
Yeah.
Okay, it's got sort of a square loop, so you can sort of stand there and continue to kind of shimmy and move it over. Give me a strength check while you're.
Ooh, my strong suit, as we know.
Is it fun?
That's funny.
Strength fun?
A big 9.
9? Okay, it's stuck a little bit. There are some signs of water getting into some of the gears. Things are a little bit rusty.
Ludo's going to get it and put all of his weight down, like kind of handlebar off of it, or monkey bar off of it. Get to break through that rust.
Alright, so you're gonna try again?
Yeah. 15 this time.
15? Okay, after some struggling and hitting it, you were almost about to get out your thieves' tools to like start chipping away at some of the corrosion, but you managed to, there we go! And eventually the thing shudders animate. You can see its head starts to spin. It like spins 180 degrees, but you're like climbing on the back of it, and it doesn't seem to notice you.
I'm going to.
You keep on doing this, or are you gonna?
I'm gonna hop off.
Okay.
Ludo's going to
Don't
hop off.
the key!
With the key or not?
Yeah, he's gonna like, because he was. Yeah.
Okay. You're behind the creature.
Right.
Now what?
With my nice feather fall thing, I probably landed pretty silently.
Oh, yeah, it's also less than 10 feet, so yeah.
Oh, good point, yeah.
And I'm gonna use my vanishing trick. Hell out of there.
Okay, you notice that it was sort of swiveling, like it would have saw you as you turn invisible, and it doesn't seem to notice where you are,
Do a wide
and
berth.
just starts to like slowly move around.
Oh, it's nice it doesn't see invisibility.
Now we know.
Luudo has enough invisibility for
I thought exactly.
one use to catch up to the party, and they begin making their way into the Trashfall.
Yeah.
Alright, security's up.
Oh, splendid. Nicely done.
Makranam, this is for keeping.
Oh, okay. You want to change it to Luudo is the one that stored it in Makranam?
Yeah.
That was a good use to disappear.
Albeit risky.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the slurry pipe map.
My favorite. Not really.
You guys walk down the road for a good ways, and then end up in a particular area that leads to Trashfall, which is this monstrous, sometimes a monstrous heap of trash that gets dumped from the plateau above. Many of the pickers are out today. It looks like you've missed the actual falling of the trash, and you can see a bunch of them putting little flags into various things. A couple people are in an argument, but it doesn't look like a hostile one. And all the groups of the trash pickers are out. You see the Hag of Trashfall standing near a pile of things, talking to a group of pickers. She's actually talking to some Vark.
You have junk.
Did she have another name, or was she just a Half-Hag of Trashfall?
She never gave you her name.
I don't think so, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Ah, beautiful sight. Look at all the things that you could turn into.
Hello, hello!
Yeah, she turns around the half hag and comes over. She's standing out in front of her weirdly trash garden that is in front of her cave, with all the requisite Blair Witch art and weird rows of similar trash and mosaics of things that people have thrown away. A lot of different colors.
We brought you a little something. Let me see if I've got it here in my bag.
Oh, Pharisee, it's good to see you. I did not expect to, after so much time has passed, I feared the worst.
Hello, half-hag.
Oh, hello there, Mokranum. I didn't see you there.
Ha ha ha. That's because Moresvine is sneaky.
It's true.
She goes up and kind of coochie coos Mokranum, and apparently he's ticklish. You didn't know. Pixel makes a happy squeal at that. It doesn't all have to be dire and evil.
No,
Yep. She glances at the massive door that the Fant is carrying and says nothing of it because there's lots of people carrying around weird trash and you're in Trashfall, so
here we go. I'll rustle around in my backpack and pull out a jar about the size of a human head.
What is this?
Which contains a human head.
Wondrous.
This is our old friend, Gedrin Lamb.
she takes it and looks at it.
Oh.
Have some of his excrement too around here
Somewhere we'd like that as well.
Oh, it's tucked away for keeping.
Yes, would you like to see it?
No, this is delightful. If only we could see what these eyes have seen.
Oh, well, we've seen a lot of it.
A lot of it was tech, I think, towards the end.
Yeah.
Perhaps you can. Perhaps there's a way. Anyway, it's preserved for you. I didn't think you would believe me if I just came here and said, oh, we killed Gedrin.
The eyes of the seer could see this.
Ooh. Who is the seer?
Oh, she's long dead, but she left behind her eyes.
Oh, do you know where they are?
One would have to go into the one who wishes to see, while the other goes into the socket that you wish to see from.
And it lets you see the past.
Yes.
That could be quite useful.
Or the
Interesting.
present,
That
if
could
the
also be
creature
useful.
is still alive. A powerful hag was she. I believe that there is a coven of hags who has one of the seer's eyes. They use it as their hagstone. The focus of their coven. Or I could tell you where they live.
Seems a
I
bit...
would certainly be interested. What would you want in exchange?
Let's just say these hags have wronged me in the past. If something evil should befell them, so be it.
Sometimes information is its own reward.
As for where the other eye is, I am not certain. If these things are not placed inside the sockets of creatures, they might be allowed to see through it over long distances. I would be very cautious about what you allow the hag's eye to see.
She smiles at Pharisee.
And then we'll be able to see what this naughty man has been up to, and what coaxed him. In years on the edge of his dotage, he did decide to become an adventurer. What coaxed you indeed, out of your evil little den?
Who knows?
She hands the head back.
How goes your Formian invasion down here?
Oh, if you wouldn't mind taking a look at Picker's Alley. They raid. Now that we know where they are, what they are, we can... They come in greater numbers. As you can see, most of us are traveling armed. We would be willing to pay you per...
And she glances to Tech.
Per shell?
Tech, you like hunting Formians, don't you?
Was Tech around for that?
We told him about it. We
told him about
with
it, and he said that he does not like Formians.
That's right.
Yeah.
They are the enemy.
Yes. Well, we're a bit busy right now. Perhaps later.
We will keep it in mind.
They have been gathering up things. It's as if they're cleaning out Picker's Alley for us.
Well, how nice of them.
Taking things you don't want.
Picker's Alley is sort of the trash of the trash, but why would they want it, I wonder?
Hard to know. What do you think, Tack?
To build.
To build. Underground.
To build their great hive. And when they are done that hive, a queen will leave and build another, and on until there is nothing left.
Sounds like you should probably try and put a stop to that.
Curious, have your people fought the Formians before? Yes. Did your people won? No.
No one seems to win against the Formians, I'm afraid. They have a bit of a reputation.
Not since the time of the Great Extermination have we won victories against the Formian.
We are too few.
Yes. Is there something specific I can help you brave souls with?
Well, I thought perhaps Pixel might spend some time with your little friend.
Was there from...
At some point.
Was it a snake?
It was a centipede, wasn't
Oh, it was a
Yeah.
centipede.
Ah, yes. I'm sure the two of them could get along. Perhaps supervise.
A few things to share. Yes. Super.
And you could see underneath the dirt of her robe, like, oh, it's climbing around her chest, and kind of disappears down one arm.
Tell me though, where is this coven of hags with the seer's eye?
They're not on station. They are Badlands dwellers.
Oh? Where's that?
You know where the Badlands are. You spent time there.
Don't know, man.
Pull from the middle.
Luke's had enough.
I just really remembered it was.
It was unlocked and
Yeah.
made you nervous. Four
Fair
grown people
enough.
in a room.
I just heard it outside, figured we would want to deal with it.
The Badlands are kind of rough, scrabble, deserty area. It is where you guys
Yeah,
where you had your last dig.
where we were on the way back from.
Yep.
Okay. Yep.
The Badlands, Zephyros. You know that there is a what do we call it? Not a conclave, but a
For the formulas?
it's in your backstory. This is a
Yeah.
group of
The group of wizards that
Oh.
that he was going to see, to deliver things to.
there is a Fant. What do we call it?
Oh, right, not the group of
You're not
wizards,
talking about the conclave.
Right. The different thing.
I'm looking at my notes. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Backgrounds. Okay, that's not it. So there's a group. There's a group of communal. The commune. That's what I was looking for. The word commune. There's a Fant commune in the Badlands town of Bostera. It's the place where you were told to deliver that staff and never did. Yeah, different C word.
The staff I was supposed to give in at the conclave.
Commune.
Oh, I wrote conclave in my notes. I'm sorry.
Conclave?
And this is in the Badlands town of Bostera.
There we go. Let me go to my notes for Badlands. The Bostera commune. You were supposed to deliver the sealed scroll tube and the staff to them, and they were going to give you the bag, which you did, and then it got stolen and all that.
Right.
Bostera commune are the way that most Fants live. Like most Fants don't live the mercenary solo lifestyle of a Tusker, whereas you and your master did. The Badlands are a place where you had your last dig. You're convinced that there is something powerful about the old Rakastan kingdoms and the inheritor races and the gods that bequeathed the power of, like, the really old gods that then bequeathed the power to the newer gods. Uncovering some of their secrets you thought was really interesting. The last dig that you had was a failed one, in that you didn't find any artifacts, although you've been telling everyone that you did find an artifact. You just didn't tell them that you bought it in a flea market in Bostera. In Bostera. Bostera is also a place where there can be mineral wealth that is found, although the mines of Bostera have started to dry up, and the opportunities sort of aren't as great. So you have spent some time in Bostera as well. That's where the whole campaign, I think, started off stage, right? You guys were all on the train coming back.
Yeah.
Bostera, you know that you like to go during the wet or the cold months to go and pick fruit and go where it's a little bit more warm. She's saying that these hags, the Badlands Coven, is obviously in the Badlands. She says that they have some powers that twist the sands and heat to their will. But if you were to convince them to give you their eye,
We convinced Gedrin. I'll pat the bag as I put the head back in the bag.
Before you leave to go and bother these hags, you may want to spend some time with my familiar. Perhaps it could teach you a secret or two. And I, well, have never quite shared spells with a fairy before.
There might be some interesting things. I have some powers with nature.
I sure do hope that the rest of you are willing to spend some time here in Trashfall, helping us fight the Formians.
Sure, I suppose we could make ourselves useful for a few moments. Maybe earn a trinket or two.
They don't come every night. It would require you to stay a few evenings, if not more.
Oh.
We have errands to run, but we will be back by.
Yes.
I would love to help, and I know that Tech would love to help.
Yes, of course. I suppose, do you know...
Say it a bit condescendingly, I don't really love to help, I guess.
Okay.
I'm kind of making that up. But
Yeah,
Tech would love to help.
Tech looks eager to fight Formians. Will you help me destroy Formians?
Are you talking to me, Mr. Gaget?
It's hard to tell.
Say, Madam Hag, I don't suppose you know anything about a certain creature that lives at the center of a labyrinth somewhere in these parts? Perhaps a fellow witch?
Her face turns grave. She glances back the way that you came.
Are you saying that you kicked over a hornet's nest?
Oh, didn't see any hornets. Satyrs, perhaps?
I'll look at the bag with the head in it.
Yep.
And say, we didn't kick over any hornets' nests.
Ah.
But maybe some hornets convinced old Gedrin to take up adventuring in his later years.
There is a group of satyrs there, yes. That coven is not one that I would cross spells or curses with.
No? What is that?
It's older than stink.
Older than...
The concept of smell bad.
Ah, yes.
Very old.
I'm not really sure which hag lives there. I'm not even sure if that hag actually lives there, or if it's just the satyrs worship.
Does she know which hag lives there?
Yeah. She seems to maybe have her suspicions, but
Yeah.
she's talking in tones that this is something a completely different beast.
Is it a friend of a friend, or a friend of a friend of a friend of yours? I'll make ever-increasing sort of...
Oh, if something like that were to rear her head, we would all be her subjects, regardless of who sits on the throne of the sovereigns.
Yeah, well, perhaps some of you would be, but...
Although she might get a chuckle out of old sovereign king's choice of a new bride.
Of course, she's alluding to knowledge nobility. Or no, it's local.
Knowledge, nobility...
Also known.
1d20.
This would not be the Great Wheel local, right?
To the king
30? Nat 20
station
on the
is.
roll.
I don't have knowledge nobility.
26, nat 20 on the roll.
We
For knowledge
know-
any, so knowledge nobility.
Yeah, we know our nobility for some reason.
Well, yeah, they're talking about the sovereign. The sovereign is an old man. He's been around for a long time. He's the sovereign king of Grand Station, and in name at least, the entire Great Wheel. Although some would argue that he has greater or lesser control over certain pearls, but he definitely has control over the Great Railway and this grand city. The sovereignty has been around for a long time. Sovereign King Eodred II is his name. He's an older sovereign. He's gone through many cycles. With your 30s and 20s, you know what the Patreon sovereignty does. Let me read you a little bit.
This is pretty cool. I remember a foregone discussion about this one over some cervezas.
Eodred II is kind of a miser for his people. It is during his reign that the stagnation has happened, which doesn't make him terribly popular. His wife died a few years ago, and he remarried rather quickly to a much, much younger noblewoman who is considered to be sort of a gold digger. Every 4 years, the sovereigns of the Patreon sovereignty undergo a slumber, where they are encased in stone, and for 4 years before they are awakened again. This allows their reign to be prolonged, as it might act as some sort of stasis. And it's during this time that the regent rules in their stead. This is his next slumber will be his first slumber with his new and much younger sovereign queen. Come to think of it, you guys think with your really good rolls, the Quartern Address, that's Quartern as in 4, is scheduled probably sometime soon. While technically it's every 4 years, shit happens, and sometimes reigns are shorter, and they're not always in the same time of year, or things might be delayed for the awakening. So it's approximately every 4 years that this cycle continues. If it was perfect, it would always be on the same day of the year. But you guys are thinking, the old bastard's been awake for some time. It's time for him to go to sleep, and maybe we'd get better jobs or money or support, or maybe the regency this time around. There's like a hopeful perhaps atmosphere that the regent might do better than the old miser Eodred II. Yes, he does have his supporters, but for those who are poor, he's probably not the most well-liked. For those that are rich, maybe he is.
And the hag insinuated that if this Uber hag was to come back, she would think his new choice of bride is laughable.
She was making a joke.
Yeah.
She basically said if this thing in the well came back, he would probably consider all of you subjects. And then made a joke about maybe she might laugh about this young woman who tricked the old man into becoming this most powerful. The young woman's name, I believe, is Iliosa, and you'd have to give me a second nobility check to see if you understand who she is.
I understand 19 of what she is.
Again, would knowledge local the Great Wheel help?
No, knowledge of local the Great Wheel is more like what are all the pearls? How are they connected? Who
Darn
lives
it!
there?
Yeah.
You're now asking for do I know the queen's name? You probably know her name, but you might not know what
15.
noble. 15. Yeah, her name is Iliosa. It's one of the noble families that she came from. She was not even of an old royal line. But she managed to somehow become a powerful person in the Great Wheel.
19 do anything?
19? You know her family name is Arabasti.
Sounds vaguely catfolkish.
Sovereign Queen Iliosa Arabasti is her name. And Eodred the Second. If you'd like me to type these out, I can.
Sure. I'm curious if I spelled them the same way.
So Sovereign King Eodred the Second of his name, and Sovereign Queen, although people of behind her back with a 19 probably call her the Sovereign Harlot, or the Sovereign Gold Digger, or there's probably all sorts of names for her. She is like not quite half his age, sort of thing. It's like the 60-year-old married the 20-something-year-old sort of thing, or the 70-year-old times 2 because Eodred
has been around
for a long thanks to the Patreon stasis that he goes in every 4 years. So a Sovereign Queen, Ileosa. Liosa Arabasti.
She is smoking hot though, right?
Some say that it was only her beauty and not her wits that fooled the old man into the marriage bed.
So smoking hot.
Yep.
You
nailed
it.
She's hot. She's a fighter.
That's all that matters.
So she made it. The Half-Hag of Trashfall made a joke about.
It was a nice little 10-minute sidebar.
Incurred a
She
lot of
makes a joke and
intrigue.
her eyes glaze over for about 5 minutes. Accessing.
Hey man, that's how you write. You say a thing and you describe it. Absolutely. Or you can just say a thing and you'd be like, "What the fuck's going on? I don't understand all these references."
No. It's
We had a short argument amongst ourselves. Aristocracy.
Yeah, there were some jokes about like, but I believe she's very attractive. Says the professor. Manny's like doesn't know who the fuck his own queen is. Oh well.
Zephyros, being a Tusker, just reprimands everybody with his eyes.
just how dare you judge each other on how attractive you are?
Alright, so ability. You should look up to superior classes like mine.
Oh yes, Tusker, we meant no offence. The sovereigns are the sovereigns, and we are but lowly subjects. Some lower than others. We all must learn our place. I would highly suggest that if you are not able to tangle with the Badlands Coven, that you would not disturb whatever rests at the bottom of the well. The satyrs do sleep. If they give you problems and you wish to do away with them, I believe some of your numbers, she glances to the Yondon, the halfling amongst you, might be sneaky enough to slit their throats while they slumber.
Whoa.
Yeah, Luudo's more into stabbing.
Mighty allegation there.
Oh, please don't slit my throat while I slumber.
Never. Do you even sleep?
Oh, yes, I like to sleep when I'm a cup, or a bucket, or a pail, which is sort of a bucket, but not quite a bucket.
I look at him like, good to know.
Oh, I will have to sleep with 5 eyes open.
His eyes open up.
I give a
Ah,
Never gets old.
no, Macrodon is quite young for a goblin. Quite small.
Oh yes, I'm glad that he is serving you well, Tusker.
So much fun.
This begs a question for me, Macronum. Do you have an eye socket?
I can have an eye socket when I make an eye. The eye's got to go somewhere.
Yes, I just picked up on your joke about your eyes, and I remember that we had an earlier discussion where we were saying that to see, the one eye has to go into the target and the other eye has to go into the eye socket. Maybe if that happens, Mocranum can help us see.
Oh, yes. Fearful of plucking out an eye as well as losing a tusk, I see.
It's a thought.
One eye,
Pondering, if you will.
one eye makes it hard to throw stones.
It does indeed, but this eye is not meant for throwing stones. This eye would be for seeing into the past or the future or the present.
Maybe we
I
just
am
hold the
mute.
professor down and carve out one of his eyes.
No,
No.
I think we don't need to do that.
That might be fun. It gives you a jostle.
It may. It certainly may.
I was more referring to
Like
the
the sword
eyes of the hag.
And I'm certainly not saying I'm disinclined to give this hag's eye a spin, so to speak, if we ever find it. But, well, you see, these eyes aren't as good as they once were. They're more like 1/2 eye apiece, and should I go down to 1/2 completely, who knows where that would leave me. Do we have some business to be about? Fair I say, what did we come down here for again?
These eyes, I'm trying. These eyes have seen a lot of love. Sorry. Somebody said these eyes. These eyes have seen a lot of trash, but they're never gonna see another trash like that with you. Okay.
The hag just looks at us while we bust into
We all sing together. Alright, you guys seem to be in a jovial mood. She tells you when you've got time that you can get the creepy centipede talking with Pixel. Which is, I believe, how witches and familiars trade spells.
How long will this take? We came all this way. We'll be back this way frequently, I think.
Yes, to hunt Formians.
Yes.
Tech is doing a circle looking around for them.
Perhaps on the way home tonight we could stop by and kill a few Formians for sport.
Okay. She excuses herself and goes back to her business.
Does anyone know if that woman has a name? Can we just call her Trash Hag?
Madam Hag, I believe.
Seems a bit rude.
She seems to like it.
Sure enough.
Is the Half-Hag of Trashfall.
Is it a title or
Mocranum asked one time, and she said that names have power and that her name is hidden.
Trickster
Makes sense
wants
to
to
me.
know why you call spells first circle and so on.
Drake?
Trickster, yeah.
Well, you've heard of circle spells and so forth. Because the concept of levels of spells would be known by characters. Because it's like, oh, I unlocked the second circle spells. Like, there would be this knowledge of levels of spells. I kind of do it to not use the terminology of the game in the context of characters speaking. So that when Luke says to me, which second level spell do I get? I know it's Luke asking me. If he asks me which second circle spell do I get, I suspect that it's his character asking. Something like that. So it's sort of a division between terminology that is game terminology versus lore and world terminology. So yeah, I don't like using the word levels. It feels weird. But there would be
breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah, it kind of breaks the fourth wall, but there would be still this concept of a 9th level spell. Because there's a whole class of them, and breaking into 9th level spells is a rare thing. So I just called them circles a long time ago. I don't remember where I picked this up, if I picked it up from some other place, but we just ended up calling them circles of spells.
Squares of spells?
I pictured circles of spells as like, like the rings of
Yeah.
power kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like
Extending
which
out.
one have you unlocked?
Yeah.
Which tier of spell? You could also do if you kind of pictured it like a pyramid. I pictured that because the spells are bigger and more powerful, you're always trying to always trying to unlock the next larger circle of spells. So it's something I started doing a long time ago. It also kind of like you would have to be a really, really powerful or very astute person to make the difference between a 6th level sorcerer and a 5th level wizard, who have both unlocked 3rd circle. So it's kind of like an inductive way of describing what's going on, kind of bottom up as opposed to a top down. So that's where that came from, and it's become so second hand that the players that I've played with, and we've played in this group here, all of them we played in about a 1.5 year long campaign before we started Titan's Gift, and then Matt and I have been playing for probably a decade, 11 years now, on and off.
Sounds about right, yeah.
Well, so they just know that that's what I mean. Like it's kind of worked its way into our table vernacular. Yeah, so that's kind of where that came from. It's like, how would you describe levels? You don't. You describe tiers of abilities, and for some reason, I think a long time ago, I pictured them as concentric circles.
Works.
Yeah.
Shall we continue back to the slough?
Yeah. You guys are able to make it back to the slough. I already rolled a D100 a long time ago. I got 57. Yeah, it was up by... yeah, you scroll up a little bit. You did not encounter any of the Formians going out. You did see where the trash is kind of flowing into a hole, though, where you suspect where the Formian might be coming out of. There's still lots of trash, although there are pockets of it that look like have been collected near that hole. And there are lots of trails. Like you find footprints of the worker bugs as well as some of the warrior ones that you fought before. Pretty soon, though, you find yourselves back in the slough. Where are you headed in the slough first?
Suppose you should check on your master, Zephyros. I'm not exactly welcome there, so I should probably go speak to the orphan girl.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We can always meet at the cantina for a drink before we head up.
I think a drink will be very much appreciated later on today. I suspect this is not going to be a fun day.
Then we shall see you at the cantina after you speak with your master.
Yes.
Alright, so there's a group that is going to see Zephyros' master. I guess that's just Mockernom and Zephyros, unless anyone else is going there for moral support.
I would, but I'm not.
Do you wish...
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. The master didn't quite like Henry.
Do you wish some company, Zephyros?
I think I shall be fine. Perhaps there's some business you would like to attend to in the city? Or in the
perhaps. I'll tag along with the professor and Luudo.
Maybe if you are lucky and there is something we have which we can sell. That reduced item 3rd circle spell does not seem like a bad idea. It would help me carry the door around.
That is a good idea, yes. I agree.
I believe, Luudo, you still have some store credit at the pawn shop.
Oh, yes.
Perhaps you could use that to pick up a few odds and ends for us.
We have some shopping or maybe
Some decent...
The what, where?
The Devil's Pawn Shop.
lovely place.
The what and the where?
What was the name of that?
Devil's Pawn Shop.
Yes, a very kind gentleman runs it. Some sort of tiefling. What was his name?
Read it there, you say?
Yes, they have a store credit system there.
Ah. And you have some.
I don't know.
Aha.
I believe Luudo does. It did quite a handy bit of
bartering there, I'd actually say.
Yes.
Did you now?
Yes.
Quite impressive to see him work.
Well, I'm
I
proud
did
of you
very
then.
well.
Yes, I understand and appreciate your generosity with me then.
You know, the best part is that it paid for a good portion of our new home.
Yes, and our good friend Tech's contract.
And yes.
Attack.
I've no quarrel with that.
I am
That all sounds
in
wonderful.
service to our queen.
Yes,
You can call me whatever you want.
Indeed you are, Tech.
You are not designated queen.
Oh,
He is not designated queen.
guess I'm not good enough.
He's more like a
Not
handsome
quite.
prince or an esquire, I'd say.
Oh well.
Alright, so some of you are going to the pawn shop.
Sure.
Buy some
See what's
scrolls.
going on?
Are you stopping by your apartment?
I don't know.
Yes.
Okay, it's on the way.
I would like to stop by my apartment and check outside of it. I've mostly been checking inside of it, I think. And
Okay.
inside, what the hell?
You actually check outside. You don't see anything in your kind of like mail
Yeah.
pigeonhole. They're not terribly secure. You do need to basically hand in a key to the landlord.
Oh yeah.
Go and knock at their office.
Alright. I'll knock at their office.
Okay. It is a very, very fat cat folk that is the landlord of your building.
Wonderful.
Oh, Zephyros, it's so good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Come in. Don't mind my fur is everywhere. This is getting warm.
Autumn will come soon enough.
Ah, yes, it is what you always say, but it is almost summer and it is quite warm in here. I just seem to shed everywhere. Come in.
Ah,
Is that the professor that is there?
Yes, it's...
You could come in too. I have something to speak to you about. You never told me there was a second person living in your flat. You know the rules.
Second person?
Yes, a little girl running around. She told me her name was Fernie.
It's not her name. Well, yes, I suppose she is living there.
Do you have your rent?
I thought I paid up in advance with you. Several months, I gave the girl money for expenses. You see, I'm often gone on the road. I hardly live there at all.
Oh, yes, I remember now. So forgetful of me.
Yes, yeah.
He's just sitting in his big seat. He's got his clawed feet up on a stool. You can see lots of like empty bowls and empty goblets around him. Nothing terribly rich. It's all like chewed wood.
has there been a delivery for me?
Delivery.
Game one, callback.
Yes. Have you paid your rent? I cannot remember. I will go and check the ledgers, but it's easier for you to tell me.
I have. I always pay my rent.
Oh yes, you're such a good fairy.
I am such a good fairy.
Yes, you see, Zephyros even told me that there was even a small fairy that lives with her. She paid the nice
Of course.
double occupancy
Oh,
fee.
yes, well. I say he's quite kind. She's known for that, really.
I am.
Yes, go and look over there, and you can see a bunch of like packages and, and like parcels and letters and things that are. Dig around. There is something there from. I don't remember. I think it was glowing.
Probably. Thank you. I will take a look.
Okay, you root around and eventually do find that there's a small package that is labeled to your address, and it is stamped from the officials at the Grand Central Station.
I will tuck it into a pocket
Okay,
to open not in front of the sky.
were you going to close down your apartments, or are you keeping your apartments? What are you guys doing?
Oh, I'm going to keep mine, yes. I'll be on the road a great deal, but it's nice to have a place to store some things out of the way.
I suppose I could forego double occupancy task if the little girl Fernie will come in here and clean up a little for me.